Welcome. Are you here? Are you alive? Are you stable? Are you stable? Are you able? What we're doing today, we are going over the fable of a staple of the industry. I gotta sugarcoat it. Just more Cinder talks. I can't get her out of my mouth. I can't get her out of my mouth. I'm too busy slobbering on that nasty, nasty lava-filled cinder cock. And today we're exploring the Reddit. I know you guys love Reddit. I know you guys are huge Reddit fans. So be sure to like and subscribe because I know you want a little bit more of the drama. And yeah, today we're just gonna go over the Reddit. This post was from 2 days ago. From today, it's the third. A little early in the morning on the third because I just woke up with the vitriol, with my mouth watering, ready to goon to VTubers. But yeah, I still got it on my mind. It's a little fresh, and people are all saying like, in a month over, it's just gonna roll over, and nobody's gonna care. And I think that is indeed true because if you look over on the Reddit, I'm on Sinder. I'm gonna reading a post by M4_wolf, and yeah, like I said, this is from 2 days ago about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so about seven posts in the last week are defending her. And saying the whole VTuber crash out was childish, and like, who cares? And guys, this is literally like a loyalty thing. You have to think if somebody did this in your friend group, you're not going to want to continue the friend group with them. And people don't realize that. Yes, of course, it's business. It's just business. That's gonna be a fucking meme. But you know, it's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. Nobody likes to be violated, and nobody, honestly, this is because of this, because of the mean girl situation I've had to deal with in my life before. I really don't like any kind of gossip at all. So me personally, I tend to, not have other people's names in my mouth, and whenever somebody else mentions someone else's name, like, it's not like I vehemently, like, abstain away from talking about other people at all, giving them any praise, acknowledging their existence around others. But I really don't like positively or negatively influencing the opinion of others to other people, Like, if you want to hate someone, that's all on you, dog. That's not on me. We should not be influencing others' opinions of other people, I don't think. Unless I'm invested in your life, dating or friendship-wise, and I'm trying to, like, save you. But, like, most of the time, guys, we're not invested in other people's lives. We're all going to die alone. Every friend you have is super replaceable. And until you realize that, you're going to get walked over a lot trying to save everyone. Or you're walking over everyone else and, trying to latch on to these people that you think are going to be by your side forever. They could die tomorrow. Tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. And then what are you going to do? You're going to have nothing but the void left. But I really do believe people like Cinder were just, they were bad in a past life. They were bad in a past life, and they couldn't get rid of those demons here today. So, it is what it is. That was a long-ass intro because now we're already done with Rooster's theme. What we're doing today is we're doing Rooster's theme in the Twilight battle. Twilight stage is going to take a little bit longer. And we're not going to finish the... We're not going to finish the second stage. Right? Because I suck too much. So far. Soon we'll be able to finish the second stage. I assure you guys. We're getting there. But... anyways, let's get on to this Reddit post. Like I said, 2 days ago, title of the post is Nanolis is not the victim people think she is by M4Wolf. Let's see what he's talking about. Okay, so first paragraph, I'm going to read it like an idiot because I believe this guy lacks brain cells. So, let me get into my reading voice. Take a little sip of coffee. Okay, let's go.
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people rushing to support Nanolis without taking the time to critically examine the situation or question her side of the story. This isn't to defend Sinder or excuse any behavior. There's clearly a lot of mess on all sides, but going to discuss things publicly, let's not ignore inconsistencies because someone appears to be more sympathetic on the surface.
Okay. So let me unpack this first paragraph here. Basically, he's saying, I don't care about her apology. We should analyze this other fucking person because that's the whole reason Cinder crashed out. We don't even care about, Nanolys's, analyzation, bows, notes, spites. Who cares, right? Who cares? Because if Cinder came out and was like, "Hey guys, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a bitch, so I'll try to not be more of a bitch. That's all me. That's my bad. All to say about me is true. Let's move on. Let's make some cool content. You know what I'm saying? I'm on street tomorrow." If she would have said that shit, the things would be way different. So now we're analyzing Nanolys. Already, you're off on the wrong bat to me. Already. Because I don't even really know this designer or person, but I know artist because I happen to be an artist. I happen to make shit. I happen to love things I make, and I happen to have made things for other people before. And I assure you, if someone was talking to me how Cinder and Red talked to Nanolys, and I was being given like thousands of dollars for like a beat I made or something, and they were like, "Hey man, we want you to make these only for us. I understand you're working for like maybe a few other people who are really cool, but like if you keep giving them out to people, like it's so unique. They're so exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna love your stuff, but only from us because like I'm making the best beats with it. And other people really aren't for you. And they're too popular. They're gonna steal your beat shine. But if you work with us, just give us money every time they ask for a beat. And don't tell. Like it would have seemed shady to me, but I would have loved the praise. Especially as a younger artist, I would have loved the praise. I would have really like not been manipulated, but really gaslit by them to think like these guys really love me and they're really trying to help me. Because that's what I think about potential, friends and business partners in the industry, which is why I had to generally disconnect. I had to go solo. I had to become solo act because motherfuckers do not care about you like that. No friends in the industry is a wise. I think it was an album title. I don't know. Whatever that Drake thing he did. It's a wise decision to make for yourself to have no friends in the industry. This is the last time I will apologize about the lag because this is probably the last episode that will have lag. I'm using Bandicam now, and this is one of my old OBS videos. So I just wanted you to really be able to appreciate when this lag stops. That's what I wanted. And also, I feel like this is more of a talking episode. We're getting more into this Reddit thing. So just enjoy the screenshots while they're up. Sit back. You really only need to see stills of Lloyd fucking shit up, okay? Anyways, back to the story. So we're already on a wrong foot because we're analyzing Nano's document, and Nano is literally just posting screenshots and telling you her story of what happened. So, anyways, to start, some of the screenshots in Nano's. Okay, yeah, I forgot I was doing it in a retarded voice.
To start, some of the screenshots in Nano's documentation date back to 2023, showing this was a long-term relationship, not a sudden collapse. In her words, Nano stated she was a free artist, and that she would always have slots for Cinder, but wouldn't make her the only client. That alone suggests that she had the option to walk away if she was uncomfortable, and yet she didn't. This matters because it contradicts the tone and helplessness of her posts are trying to convey. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I'm not gonna read Cinders. I'm not gonna read Cinders, but I'm not gonna read Nanolyst's post for you. I'm not gonna show you the screenshots of her post. I'm not gonna show you any of that. All I'm gonna do is ask you a question. Did she ever have this helpless? Was the word helplessness or some kind of victim complex ever portrayed in the document? Ever portrayed by anyone who came out with a pre-doc? I'm going to ask you that question. Because I feel like a lot of her friends weren't trying to be the victim. They were trying to understand
They were trying to get the reasoning out for why this is happening. Because you realize they all came together, and this is what really pisses me off, because he gets the story so wrong. They all came together and talked to Cinder about this before the crash out, and Cinder still did the same shit. She just denied it. She's like, I'm not doing this, guys. What are you talking about? I'm not being weird. What do you mean? Like, and I don't know how, nobody knows really how it went down. But the reason why it had to come to this is because of the apology she gave. Because she is that girl. She is that girl. And the thing is, you can't just walk like how hard do you know it is to just walk away from someone who is doing quote unquote good things for you that aren't really good things, and you have to go behind her back and see what the hell is going on. Like people don't realize how crazy the evil world is. That you can think you are doing good. You are literally spreading light, and you're not. You're spreading darkness, and that's what was happening to Nailist. So when it seems like she had this helpless complex, yes, she was helpless to information. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that complex in you, it's like how would you feel if the teacher handed you a test and none of the shit you studied for? I would feel helpless. I'm sorry. And it's dumb that you're like, oh, it's 2023, you know, it's long-term relationship. That should make it worse. That should make it worse. What, do you want her to only know her for like a day and then start fucking her over? No, these are people who have long-term love, and she has deceived them for years. Which to me is just, top tier sleuthing. I know I've had to put on an act for a long time. Very, very, very many long years. And it's not fun, but it's a skill. It's a skill. So, hats off to Cinder. I'd say, there are way better ways to go to the top. And obviously, as we're seeing now, this may be a viable option, sadly. But in my eyes, there are very better ways to get to the top, and it's going to take a long time no matter what you do. Like let's be real here. Even with Cinder's backhanded stuff, even if it didn't come out and crash out like this, she still would have taken forever to rise, even though she came out with like 3K viewers. It's still a slow grind, and the consistency is really what makes it. So it's been about a week. Should be about a week when I upload this. We'll see how it goes, but I don't have too much confidence, I'll be real with you. I don't have too much confidence. Let's go into the next paragraph. This is where he gets into money here.
Nano's models are priced at over $10,000 just for the art commercial rights, and just know that models for clients like Giga, Bow, and Silvervow were canceled. That's potentially $30K is lost income, not to mention reputational damage. It's difficult to believe this is all due to manipulation, especially when she had many options and autonomy throughout.
I'm gonna go ahead and continue here.
Nanolist charges $1,000 for run, which is her right as a business owner. But if Cinder paid top-tier prices, it's highly likely that an NDA was in place. If that's the case, Nano potentially breached it by sharing private conversations weeks before releasing the documents. If an NDA was signed, then leaking information undermines Nano's own professionalism.
Okay, so you think that motherfucker Red paid for an NDA? And this is all speculation. What the fuck is wrong with you, dog? What the fuck is wrong with you, dog? Like, I get it. You're mentioning the income of her, and then, if NDAs were there, he's right. He's right. No one's talking about NDAs. And I swear to God, bro, the Cinder apology had so much defense. She cast so many buffs before her first apology on page 5 that I imagine one of those buffs could have been an NDA buff. If that's like the first thing you thought of, you think Cinder wouldn't have thought about it in her gigantic fucking ass apology? And she was, let's be real, she was defending, but the bitch put on some DOTs, the bitch had some reflect damage on. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of bouncing back, there was a lot of human shielding with Red. So I'm like, why would you not mention the NDA? Back to the dude.
Another point worth mentioning is the timing of Bao's document, which was released 6 months after Nano's. That suggests the coordination and premeditation, not a spontaneous need to speak up. It doesn't automatically disparage the claims, but it does question all the motive and strategy.
Motive and strategy? The motive and strategy? The motive and strategy? To understand, people think knowing things is some kind of a crime. People over here thinking I'm committing knowledge crimes by giving you this retarded information that motherfuckers spew on Reddit. This is how the world is. They're weaponizing understanding people and their motives. So we're supposed to police ourselves and have the greatest motives around Sinder, but we don't need to know why she does her random shit. You know, it's just business for her when she's fucking over and doing random shit behind the scenes, and Nanolist can't do this model, and Nanolist has to lie to a bunch of people, and nobody can question Nanolist's motives because she has to lie. But when we all get together as friends and talk about what we want to do as friends and bring the situation up to someone else as friends, we are the evil people. See, this is why I hate the mob mentality of the world, because honestly, there are a lot of people who read this and take it the exact opposite way, because she has this mob mentality. Enough people like her. Enough people are in love with this model because it really is all aesthetics. She has a wonderful voice too. I know things about wonderful voices. She's a very, very good voice. Very good vocal talent. But you can read all this and you can say, yeah, you're right. You're right. All the documents were released at the same time and they all coordinated and it was spontaneous. How dare it not be spontaneous crash out? How dare they premeditated and think it through and talk to each other like they're friends in the industry. Guys, YouTube is a workplace. YouTube is a co-working space. We are all co-workers. If you don't talk to your co-workers, if you think none of these YouTubers DM each other and discuss what they're gonna do, discuss videos. Oh, I'm gonna drop this video this day. Oh, you wanna drop that? You drop that video that day. You're fucking retard. If you don't do that with your coworkers and make your workflow an easy and simple situation, then man, I get it. You just go to work out, and then come home and sleep and goon. I get it. I understand. Your life sucks. You hate the people around you. Stop calling me, damn it. And so do I, apparently. But you know what I mean. Life is what you make it, and so is your workplace. If you don't make an effort to make things efficient, to make things line up, to make things aligned in your own life, then of course that's going to leak onto your YouTube. Of course that's going to leak onto your workspace. Nothing's going to be organized if you don't organize the base. And so I have a lot of respect that these documents were released in a nice, consistent, clean manner. I think that's like most of the stuff on this, it's kind of like politics, like a lot of these political points, you can make the same point to someone and they would take it a completely different way. Completely different way. So we just have to derive our own opinions, love yourself, and love your own way of doing things. Because honestly, guys, there are so many ways of doing things. Once you find yours, someone's gonna come up and be like, that's some dumb shit. Like, I remember my first time I was living with somebody outside of my house. I was living with a roommate, and I was brushing my teeth, and I put my head down in the sink and start drinking the water from the sink, wiping my face and shit. My roommate's like, what are you doing? That's retarded. I'm like, I'm just brushing my teeth. And he's like, you put your face in the sink? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's me. Like, I still do it to this day. I still do. It's just me. It's the method that fucking works for me. Sure, I could get a cup and drink water that way. And leave it in the bathroom. That's not me. That's my method. And you don't have to do that, of course. I'm a fucking weirdo. And I love being a weirdo. And more people need to just love being a weirdo instead of like looking to do things the exact right way. And motherfuckers are gonna look at this and be like, oh man, they released all the documentation at the same time. You're right. We gotta coordinate it. We gotta not coordinate it. I have to release mine completely separately. I can't talk with these people. That's parasocial manipulation. Let's go back to this retard. Furthermore, in Silver's document, there's a conversation from November 17th, 2023, where Nano says she can't work on the model due to her management. But the conversation with Red, which supposedly caused the cancellation, happened on November 19th, 2023. The earlier discussion with management is never shown, which feels like a convenient omission from Nano's end. Okay, so there's actually an explanation here, and I think it's in the comments. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm like, they don't know. So, he says in Silver's document, it was 2 days before Nano said she can't work to her model due to her management, and the conversation it happened on 19th of 2023. The earlier discussion with management. So I think on the 19th, I believe the screenshot he's talking about on the 19th, and it's funny because this is like two different documents we're going over on screenshots on, and this isn't even in Sinder's apology post. This is in the other call-out document. So he's grabbing things from two different documents here, because I think he's grabbing things from Silver's document and Nano's document. Okay. Now they're not pulling every fucking screenshot, of course. I believe the screenshot on the 19th that they're pulling specifically is something about like Bao's cancellation specifically. It's not even about Silver's. And Silver didn't mention, Nano didn't mention anything about, Nanolist or whatever. She just mentioned it canceling due to management. If this has been going on that long, who knows really why she canceled? But if this is true, if this has been going on that long, what's to stop, Sinder from honestly just giving her more work than she's able to handle, and then eventually having to cancel Silver's model, because the harassment for silverware, yeah, it was the silverware allegations ain't beating it, man. Ain't beating it. You eating pizza with silverware? I'm sorry, dog. Anyways, if you think about it, the harassment of Silverville has not stopped. You know what I'm saying? Silverville was tanking shit since like pretty much the debut. I want to say like 22. Which I'm like, if you think about the harassment timeline, Nano canceling a project on the 17th actually makes a lot of sense. But this I feel is his probably biggest point. In a 2-day difference of cancellations, like that don't make much of a difference to me. 2 days, I'm still in the same kind of frame of mind, honestly. So, with the conversation that happened with Nano on the 19th, talking about a completely different model, could have been a continuation from one that was 3 days ago that they didn't screenshot, where she's just like, be exclusive with us or whatever. But I believe, yeah, the exact one that she was, or that this person was talking about on the 19th, different document. It wasn't even from Silver's document. So you're talking about probably a different model that they were canceling. But like I said, I think they'll get into it in the comments here later. Let me go back to this. We're almost done, guys. Actually, we're almost done.
Okay. Nano also claims she canceled on a few clients, including Silver, due to health issues. However, screenshots provided no signs of manipulation or coercion, just clear indications that were personal choices. In other places, she frames cancellations as being the result of management telling her to step away for healthy reasons. This creates conflicting narrative that appears to disagree with voluntary decisions under the guise of external pressure. If there was manipulation, if isn't evidenced by the screenshots. Instead, it reads more like shifting the blame to avoid accountability. Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy that he says that when you read Sinder's apology, but we're going to continue on from that one. I'm not even going to dissect that shit.
At this point, it's also worth considering a broader pattern. The tensions in Nano's working relationships may have been growing over time. And now Cinder is being used as a scapegoat for larger professional or personal frustrations, rather than take ownership for ongoing issues, whether burnout, overcommitment, or business missteps. It appears more convenient to lay the blame at the feet of a single client. Cinder, already controversial, becomes an easy target. The framing of events positioned Nano as someone who was backed into a corner. But the documentation doesn't show real coercion or manipulation. It shows decisions, sometimes bad ones, but ultimately choices that were made by someone in control.
And that is inherently the problem. They all do show decisions. And from my perspective, Nanolith was accepting a lot of them. Now, I'm not saying like Nanolith is completely unto blame. It's your life. It's your art. And if you are so dumb that you don't realize that your shit is so good and she is gooning over the shit and using you, that is definitely your problem. I think this is a good way to solve it. I don't think you should have like... Me personally, I would have just blocked her. I would have just silenced her and moved on with my life. But girls really don't have the luxury of doing that. The relationships really are the value, the salt of their life. They really need people. So all these motherfuckers talking like, just block her, excommunicate her, get rid of... Girls can't do that, you fucking idiots! Girls don't have that option. They really don't. Which is sad. I think that's what leads to a lot of the crash outs of the world. Because most people are disgusting. And when you can't excommunicate these disgusting people out of your life, guess what they do? They pollute the rest of it. They pollute the rest of it. So while Nano's, it does just show decisions. If you see in every one of these screenshots, Nano is not toxic. And in one of them, it hurts me so much to read it every time. But in one of them, she says, I will never hate you. And literally getting goosebumps right here. It's like people that have this love in their hearts, this genuine light in their hearts, are just so abused because it's not the default. It's not the default. And because someone in our past life actually did good things for us and other people, you know, we feel the need to keep the train spreading on. Oh, this is why I like talking about this bitch. She gets me emotional. She gets me like, I can feel things now. Okay, it's gonna be a good walk today. It's gonna be a good walk today. Oh, okay. So let's finish this up. Something else that's suspicious. Let me get my dumb voice.
Something else that's suspicious is the fact that one of the few people on Twitter who openly pointed out the flaws and inconsistencies in Nano's document was blocked by her. If that person's criticism was truly baseless or incorrect, why block them instead of reporting or clarifying? That reaction doesn't come off as transparent. It comes off as defensive or like there's something to hide.
All right. And the person who blocked... I'm gonna go read this tweet here. It says this guy is Sparky's Tech Corner, and the guy she blocked said this. So putting together all the screenshots from @Sinder vtuber situation and the info drop from the docs. I hate to say it, but @Nanolith was not manipulated. The first thing we see is them dropping Silver's commission on their own, using their management as an excuse. Nano later tells Redacted this was mid-2023. Nothing shown prior suggests Nano was manipulated. They acted on their own. They're using out-of-order screenshots to mislead readers into thinking otherwise. If you're mad at Cinder, you should be mad at Nano too. She chose to do it. This isn't an excuse Cinder's behavior either. You literally... See, I don't understand people. Sometimes they just dunk on people for no reason, and then at the end of it, they're like, but you know... Cinder still did bad stuff. But let me dunk on this bitch too. I just want to kill everybody. Like, you're a fucking retard. You don't know what you want. You just want clout. Which is why she blocked you. This is such a clout tweet. And the thing is, with Twitter now, it's really hard to find a non-clout tweet that's just farming engagement. You know, just saying an unpopular opinion with absolutely no information back behind it. Just a lot of emotion. And when you get rid of facts and you just use emotion in your points, it becomes manipulation instead of persuasion. And you know, not a lot of people work with persuasion on Twitter because it doesn't get you fucking clicks when you use boring things like facts and knowledge and critical thinking. Nobody likes critical thinking. We just like, hey, you know what, Nano sucks too, kill her too. No, you deserve to be blocked, you fucking retard. Moving on to the last part of this, I'm just gonna double these two paragraphs together because it's just a little ending here.
Her issue is this: Nano always had a choice. She wasn't locked into a contract with no exit. Nor was she in physical danger. She had the upper hand, both as a sought-after artist, someone not geographically or legally tied to her clients. Yet she chose to stay. Whether she stayed for money, emotional attachment, poor judgment, it was a choice. Again, this isn't to say Cinder's behavior was okay. It wasn't. But should we let sympathy cloud critical thinking? If we were going to hold creators accountable, this should apply to everyone, not just the ones who come off less likable in screenshots. Okay, so here's the thing, though. Here's the main thing for me, though. Out of all this shit, Cinder is a creator, and Nano is an artist. After all this, Cinder is a content creator and Nano is a motherfucking artist. So I value Nano as a piece of the community a lot more. I hold Nano accountable as a piece of the community a lot more for publicity and statements. I don't value Cinder like that. Cinder can say anything. I don't give a fuck. The reason why someone like Nano has to stay around Cinder and politic a lot in the background is because she literally is in the background. I mean, you have a model, but I feel like when you create models for other people, especially in the VTuber scene, but even in the VTuber scene, in any scene, you create art for other people. You kind of have to be okay with all of the people if you want to make money. This is literally how she's making money. But either way, yes, she did have an option. Yes, they all could have made better choices. But guys, when we are trying to understand and get information, I'm sorry that the world is like this, but sometimes you need to crash out. Sometimes the world needs to know how dreadful these people are. And I'm sorry that makes your Oshi look like a bitch, but apparently she is. Deep down. And that's okay. Subscribe. I love you. Go fuck some bitches.